I just like to see Tom run.
It's like Rainbow, it's jeez.
I have a potentially impertinent question.
Okay, a little closer though.
Sorry, I have a potentially impertinent question. So I absolutely love what you guys have done. So I worked on server-side JavaScript, way before there was V8, way before there was Node. And Node is taking it really big, taking it to everybody, and this is, this room is testament to the fact that this is like the breakout moment for this community. And so I've seen a lot of other communities kind of eat themselves over like long-form discussions about eventual ownership of the soft forms of control. And so I was really happy to see that it has a really sophisticated CLA policy and a great sort of licensing policy. And so like the last form of control that's allowed after copyright patent, which are already things for trademark. And so I was sort of curious what I read the trademark policy and I'm really curious to know sort of like, is there going to be some conservancy or is there going to be some organization that's going to sort of shepherd that out in the future?
No, I think Join's going to keep shepherding this, pushing it forward. I mean, possibly in the future, but it is a very liberally licensed software, and so I think we're fairly protected from any sort of, I think there's some concerns about acquisitions or whatnot, doomsday sort of scenarios. But I mean, in the end, the software is very, very open source, and so hopefully that will prevent any sort of problems.
It's not licensed by Sun under some weird Sun license.
So I think I'm just gonna, we talked a lot at Joint about the trademark policy, and there've been a few things flying around on Twitter, and I think I'd rather just address it and kind of, it's the elephant in the room a little bit, so here goes. When you start talking about something like that, obviously there are lawyers involved, and as soon as lawyers are involved, we as a company, as an organization, have the immense risk of looking like a big bunch of jerks. And that's tough for us. I mean, obviously Node is Ryan's baby, and Isaac and I put a considerable amount of our own personal time into it. We care about it. We've all been working on open source for a very long time. So I think we see the other side of it, but what I really hope that people will see is that we're doing this because there's a potential problem for any community in the future where somebody can misappropriate a name, somebody can misrepresent themselves as being part of our community. Everybody at nodeconf has put something into Node. Everybody at nodeconf has committed their time, their resources, their companies, all sorts of things to Node, and that's important, that's special, that needs to be protected, but in order to protect it, we have to do stuff with lawyers that look scary and is kind of, can make it easy for people to look at us and go, oh, you guys are the bad guys. And we talked about this a lot, and we took the difficult decision to say, well, we'd rather appear to be the bad guys, the people that don't want to look too close, and have the ability to protect Node from, a threat that may never happen in the future. And that was a decision that we took, but I really hope, and if anybody has any specific things where we've not enabled them to do something that they want to do because of a policy, I really hope that we've dealt with all of those things, and I really hope that we've provided a forum for people to give us specific advice. We took our trademark policy mainly from Apache, and in many ways our policy is actually more liberal than Apache. We added clauses to make it possible for open source to use the trademark in a way which isn't possible with Apache. And that was important to us because we think that all of the things that people are contributing are important, and we wanted to facilitate that. So if you have concerns about the trademark, come and talk to me. We still have the party. We can do it over drinks if that makes you more comfortable, but
It will.
We are doing this for you. We're doing this not because we're trying to kind of score one. We're doing it because we want to make sure that somebody's there to protect this community from people misrepresenting things that aren't known as Node, and taking credit for your work and you know, having things that are bad that aren't Node and calling it Node.
Just wanted to ask a question, but he's tearing down track B, so I gotta call him out. Chris. No, there he is.
Despite working over there, I heard the previous question. Wanted to follow up on that, so I guess I'm just going to go back to you. Why not assign the ownership of the trademark to a nonprofit organization?
So, wait, I'm going to answer that. You've worked extensively with Apache. How are you holding up there, buddy?
I can't really hear you.
Similar to previous JavaScript libraries like Dojo and other similar ones.
Well, Chris, I mean, to be honest, we want to profit from having Node under our control. Obviously. Best answer. I mean, let's just be honest about it. Yes, we want to make money with Node, but we are trying to do it in a way that, you know, we put a lot of resources into it. We try to push this forward, and we do it under a very open license. But yeah, at the end of the day, we would like to, we want to have some control over the IP that we develop, what little fragment is left, and yeah.
I just have a very, very tiny follow-up.
So, to that answer, Siteman seems to do a damn fine job of making a profit while still giving Dojo back out to the Dojo Foundation.
Okay. and 10gen is, you know, and Basho is doing fine with their product. React. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so
yes, there has been many discussions.
So
I wanted to stand up to the Dojo account.
yeah. Why don't you grab a mic then?
I don't want to be slandered without the opportunity to respond. So the Dojo example is a little bit different, right? Because you know, what we tried was something that was legally very risky, a genericide strategy, wherein the trademark was never registered but was used heavily. And it was explicitly done that way in an attempt to make it so that because of the way trademark law works, that no one else can claim it in the future, right? The decision was made that people would no longer be able to register their own trademark in opposition to the community, and therefore the community was big enough that they could sort of like force people out, right? That's a very, very, very risky strategy for any organization to make, and I completely understand and support any reasonable set of lawyers sitting down in a room and going, no.
It hasn't failed yet.
So I just want to follow up really quick. When the trademark went over to Joanne, mostly nobody really had a big problem with it, and that's both because Joanne hasn't done anything to deserve any ill will. They've done a great job. Everybody's pretty happy with them, but also because the MIT license protects us from, if Oracle buys this company, they can do something bad. And I think none of us have a problem with the ownership of the trademark being in Joanne. I think we all just want to see something that says, if Oracle buys this company, then we're all not all screwed. For all the same reasons that you said that you like the MIT license, I think that we want to see something similar.
I mean, just another thing. This is not a conference for a logo. This is a conference about a piece of software. That's why we're here. That's still MIT licensed, and it will be forever.
Felix wants to. Do you want to be on the panel while you? Okay.
I just want to add one comment to this whole discussion. I perfectly agree that Joint has done a pretty awesome job getting this trademark thing done without causing a huge backlash right away. I think they've done a great job clarifying on the node modules and how that is handled. And I think the main discussion that I've heard in the community, and I've not been directly involved with any of the trademark stuff, is businesses who want to build on Node.js kind of want to use Node in their name. How that's going to be handled. And this is being figured out right now. And I think if we find a good solution with the community, there's no reason to believe we won't find that with Joint. I think everybody's going to be pretty happy with the setup. The Oracle thing is it's important that we fix that or find it out what it really means.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. Yeah, we should be clear, the trademark discussion is about the name and companies and products having their name, having Node in their name and appearing to be somehow official. Trademarks are about not confusing, not having confusing naming. And, you know, we're trying hard to act appropriately and you know, not totally walk over the nodeconf organization and Nodejitsu and Nodester and several other people who have Node in the name of their products or companies.
That's a good question. Do you want to talk
I
about
thought-
Apache?
I do want to say, I mean, I'm involved a lot with Apache and the foundation there, and I believe things like IP and CLAs, and it's all like a continuum. There's like projects that do nothing, and that I believe that's a bad thing. So I believe, yes, having it being controlled by an open source foundation of some kind is like the best place for these things to be. But at the same token, I'd much rather have joint publish a policy, collect CLAs, do all these things, because it is good for the community as a whole in the long run. I think the best solution is the foundation, but it's still good to have someone doing all these things. So I'm happy that Joint's doing it, yes.
I just realized